Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome for our fellow commissioners online. You can hear me?
I can hear you.
Very good, and I can hear you. Okay. I'll call our Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission quarterly meeting to order. Today is Wednesday, March 4th, 2026. We do have a quorum and we have just about every commissioner present, online and in person. Appreciate that. Thank you. We will first start off with a welcome from our Racine County Executive, Ralph Malicki. He is present, and I'd like to introduce you back here, and we'll do that. Welcome behind the camera here, so those that mind can see it.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for being here.
Thank you. So welcome to Racine County. I really appreciate the commissioners coming to beautiful Racine County on this, it's a sunshiny day, but that's not the case. So, I want to thank Supervisors Trotter and Kramer, our Racine County supervisors and members of this commission for their service to the commission, as well as all of you for your service on the commission. Quick update in Racine County. We have a few projects going on, as many other counties do, I'm sure, right? We've got the biggest one of note, the one that you're going to be able to take a tour of after you're done. Don't walk on the ice, though. Not safe anymore. Of the harbor project here, the marina. It's about a $32 million 4-year project. The boat slips actually are being decreased by a certain number because apparently as time goes on, the boats have gotten bigger. So we have to accommodate bigger boats. Along with that, we have a couple of road projects in Racine County. Highways G and B are going to get resurfaced. We've got a campground study going on at one of our parks. We're going to put cabins in another park to increase revenue. All these things are being done with a fiscally conservative vantage point and trying to enhance our county, but still be responsible with our spending. So with that, again, I appreciate everybody coming to Racine County. It's great to see you here. Enjoy it. Enjoy the tour and enjoy, if you're staying over, if anybody's staying overnight tonight, you should. We need hotel business. Well, thank you for being in Racine County.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to something that's very important to myself and for my fellow commissioners. We have Jonathan Delagrave's son McGuire with us this afternoon. As you know, many of you know, Jonathan Delagrave was the county executive and had a lot of involvement with SewerPAC. And through the years, we got to know him as a very colorful person as far as his outfit and his personality. And that's what I enjoyed. I was able to sit with him at several of our committee meetings. He served on several of the committees and was very active with the commission. And this afternoon, I'd like to present a plaque to his son McGuire, and I'd like to read that to you. Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission presents this citation to Jonathan J. Delagrave in sincere appreciation of his service as a member of the commission representing Racine County from 2020 through 2024. During his tenure on the commission, Mr. Delagrave served as a faithful member of the Administrative and Executive Committees, Planning and Research Committee, and the Intergovernmental and Public Relations Committee, devoting many hours of work to the commission, the region, and the state, and as always, is selfless to the public good. In selfless service to the public good. Say that faster. On behalf of Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, we extend our appreciation and our recognition to your dad, who made a tremendous impact on the region, Racine County, and to SewerPAC. Thank you for being with us. Do you have any words you'd like to share?
No, just I'm sure
He just appreciated everybody and appreciates everything and, just love to represent people and people of Racine County and help whoever he could, so thank you.
Okay. Roll call. For those that are online, if there are any commissioners that do not want payment, please say nay.
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 Aye.
Nay.
Sir. And Adam. Okay, thank you. For those that are present, roll call is going around. Please make sure you sign in. Next up on our agenda this afternoon is consideration of the meeting minutes of our December 3rd, 2025 quarterly commission meeting. Is there a motion? Commissioner Pitts' motion.
I'll second.
Thank you. Any comments or corrections? Hearing none, then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Meeting minutes unanimously approved. Do we have any members of the public present? I see that there is one name on the screen. You're muted if you are joining us. Please unmute. Not here. Okay. We acknowledge, it looks like it is Michael. Okay. Thank you. Meeting minutes unanimously approved. Next up is an official seating of the governor's appointment from Milwaukee County. And we have Commissioner Rowlett to read the bio and make the motion.
Okay, good afternoon. Adam Tyndall Schlick is a globally recognized transportation executive and regional infrastructure leader who has served as sector leader for ports, transportation, and infrastructure at Ramboll since 2025. In this role, he advises public and private sector clients on integrated climate-smart infrastructure and multimodal transportation strategies across the United States and Canada, with a focus on regional system performance and long-term resilience. From 2018 to 2022, Adam served as director of Port Milwaukee, where he oversaw operations generating more than $100 million in revenue in economic activity while advancing capital improvements and public-private partnerships that strengthen southeastern Wisconsin's freight mobility, waterfront development, and regional competitiveness. In 2022, he was appointed by U.S. President Joe Biden as the 11th administrator of the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway Development Corporation. As an executive at the U.S. Department of Transportation, Adam oversaw binational maritime operations, federal capital programs, and intergovernmental coordination across the Great Lakes St. Lawrence Seaway system, aligning infrastructure investment with regional economic and environmental priorities. He has also spearheaded the Green Shipping Corridor Network, a U.S.-Canada initiative accelerating low and zero-emission shipping across the region. Returning to SewerPAC following his federal service in the Biden administration, Adam has served on several statewide and regional planning conservation bodies appointed by Wisconsin Governor Tony Evers, including the Great Lakes Commission, the Council of Great Lakes Region, and the Great Lakes Observing System. He and his husband, Aaron, are raising their young daughter in Milwaukee.
Thank you. And for those that may recall, Adam had served on the commission several years ago and had left, and now he is being reappointed. Is there a motion to appoint?
So moved.
Second by Commissioner Johnson. Any more comments? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Congratulations. He could not be present today, but thank you for the introduction. Next up is consent agenda. For those that are in elected office, you know that a consent agenda helps speed things along. And if there are no concerns with what is on that agenda, we move that to the consent agenda. And with that, we have 3 standing committee reports: the Intergovernmental and Public Relations Committee, Planning and Research Committee, and Executive Committee. If any of the members of the commission would like any of those pulled out for discussion in a separate vote, let me know. Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion for that consent agenda.
Move to approve.
Second.
Thank you. Hearing no concerns, then all in favor of approving the consent agenda, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously approved. Thank you. That saves me from having to read all of them.
Can I just ask a quick question? Who's the chair of the, I'm on the intergovernmental committee, but who's the chair of that?
Yes, our vice chair is Commissioner Decker,
Yeah.
and our new chair is Commissioner Holt.
Oh, great, thank you.
And the next meeting of that committee will most likely either happen later this month or April.
Thank you.
Okay,
Now I can.
yes, thank you. Moving on, consideration of secretary pursuant to commission bylaws, Article 3, Section 4, vacancies. We had, during our last executive committee meeting, a nomination of Commissioner Dwayne Johnson. Actually, it was a couple of meetings ago. And he was unanimously approved as secretary. That motion and approval, unanimous approval, automatically carries forward to the next full commission meeting. So he was unanimously selected as secretary, and we would look to have a motion to officially seat him as our next secretary. Thank you. Any other commissioners interested in becoming secretary, please say aye. Hearing none, and none came forward before me prior to the meeting. Those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Commissioner Pitts, before we go any further, do you want me to do a roll call vote on this?
So,
Thank you. Unanimously approve the secretary. Congratulations. Next up is consideration of treasurer pursuant to commission bylaws, Article 3, Section 4, vacancies. Same thing at last executive committee meeting in February. We had a vote, a nomination. A commissioner had brought his name forward to serve as treasurer, and that is Commissioner Holt. I have not heard any others that were interested in that role. We would need a motion and a second.
I make the motion to nominate him.
And Commissioner Johnson is a second. Are there any other commissioners interested in serving as treasurer? Please say aye. Hearing and seeing none, then all in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimously elected. That went smoothly. We are really rolling through this agenda this afternoon. Next up, item 8 is overview of the commission website and social media activity. Jim Zahner would have been present, but he is under the weather. So I will turn this over to Stephanie to present. And for those that are online, can you see the social media activity presentation? Somebody
Yes.
say it. Very good. Okay, Stephanie, go ahead.
Thank you, and I will be brief. What you have on screen and what those have in the room as a printed copy are the same. So Jim had prepared some information for you that is similar to last year in March, when Jim prepared the same set of figures and updates about our website and our social media activity. The first page you'll see has website activity since we launched the new website in June of 2024. So we're about a year and a half into living with that newer website. And what Jim provided for you are the monthly views and the monthly users of the website for the year 2025, again, broken down by month. Then subsequently, he listed for you the top pages on that first page, the top web pages and the number of views for those web pages, with mapping and survey data as the highest of those views. Page 2 of the social media or of the packet, which is for social media activity. And I'll pause and say, if you can scroll up to the page prior to what is on screen. Thank you. Then page 2, or the back side of page 1 for the printout, has social media activity for LinkedIn, for Facebook, for Twitter, and for Instagram. And you can see that our LinkedIn and Facebook follower counts are the highest. So they are presented to you in that order. And there are some images that showcase a highlight of what kind of social media we have been posting across these platforms, but then highlighted in each example on this page. Of note, in the example shown under X or Twitter, the gentleman, Deputy Director McKay, to my right, along with our Chief Environmental Engineer, Laura Herrick, were on the radio early this year. And you can tune into WGTD to see, or to listen to the results of that conversation. Yes, so thank you. Page 3 is the media activity roster. You can see the list of articles in which Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission, or SEWRPAC, had been referenced. So that goes from just 2 months ago, January of 2026, back through about March of 2025. The last page is another example of media activity, specifically our commission employees who have been recognized. Again, our Chief Environmental Engineer, Laura Herrick, was listed or recognized as notable women in construction for design and engineering in the class of 2025 in Biz Times. And then underneath that is the example of Justin Poinsett, also in environmental efforts, working on the chloride levels in southeastern Wisconsin waterways. So if you did not see that Spectrum One news, you can see the video and tune in to Justin's remarks about sampling for the chloride study. So with that, I will turn it back to the chair.
Thank you. Questions for Stephanie on the social media activity?
You got one.
Go ahead.
You do any surveying or outreach to the people who use the mapping and survey data and say, where you get confused or how could we make this easier to use and like that? I mean, does he reach out, or can you look at the mechanics of it and see people who start and then quit, or something like that?
That is a good question. I will refer back to or deliver back to Jim, our communication specialist, because there may be some tracking components of where web users go after that page that may indicate some. And in addition, we also have the contact us form of our webpage. There may have been some inquiries about the mapping and survey data page in there. So I can refer back to him.
I was
to provide additional information.
page, but people like me get confused when they get on, and all that. Anyway, it just meant that would be kind of helpful to see what else could be done.
We will turn back to that. Thank you.
Thank you. And as our executive director communicated, Jim Zahner is our communications specialist. As you know, communications are critical for any organization, and social media is where a lot of our work out in the field gets communicated back to the public. And there is a lot of interaction, and the statistics are very important. In the tracking, Jim could go into it much deeper and talk about that. We'll have him back at another future full commission meeting to explain that. So appreciate the report being put together. If there are no further questions, I'll continue on. Okay. Thank you, Stephanie. Next up is a review of our scenario for the 2027 regional charge to counties. You have a copy of that in your packet. I'll turn it over to Stephanie.
Thank you. The first item to clarify is that I did not list no motion needed next to this item, so it is for discussion only. And there are two parts of the items in your packet for this agenda item. The first one you will see is a series of tables that represents the charge to the counties for the regional tax levy for 2000 through 2026. And so there is no draft listed on those tables because they are the charges that actually occurred from the commission to the counties, again, from the year 2000 through 2026. So you can use those as a reference point to see additional information about the mill rate, the difference between tax years, et cetera. The second item in your set for this agenda item has some red font on it, and you'll see 3 tables. Those tables are just concepts. They are scenarios or concepts so that when you think through the question, what would it look like if the commission were to need to consider a change to the 2026 charge? And if the commission were to need to consider a change to the 2026 charge in the form of, let's say, no change or a 1% change or a 2% change, these are what those numbers look like in concept. So I want to recap for the commission the discussions that we heard, the takeaways that we received from last year's conversations with the counties, and acknowledge that we are about to undertake conversations with the counties this very month into next to have a conversation and exchange about the needs that counties have for our services, how things are working, how we're serving you, what we might need to be considering as we look toward our budget, which will come up in the next couple of months, and what these charges might look like, and if there are pain points we need to work through. So that said, these 3 tables show those scenarios of no change from our 2026 charge for the total amount charged to the counties, and then what it would look like if there was a 1% change on that total or a 2% change. What I should also highlight in closing is that the equalized valuation changes in each county from year to year. And so while we might say, and I should clarify, while we as leadership staff and the commission might say to you, here's a 1% change in concept, here's a 2% change in concept over the total. But even if you were to say, we're leaning toward no change, there would still be a difference in what each county would pay from 2026 to 2027 because of the changes in equalized valuation in each county. So I hope that that is a sufficient summary, and that is my report to begin.
Thank you. Again, this is somewhat early on in having these conversations, and it was at the request of the commission and the executive committee last year to have conversations and begin review process before we get to budget time as well. So with that, I'll open it up to my fellow commissioners. Comments on your initial thoughts with what you see. Mr. Holloway, go ahead.
I just, it's a separate issue, but relates to this, is that, are we gonna be looking at also a model if a decision is made that not all counties choose to pay their levy?
Yes, we will be, as a next step, returning to executive committee with more detailed information, and then to take a look at how these numbers inform the budget, and the budget inform these numbers based on also counties and their involvement.
Thank you.
Commissioner Messer.
Who meets with the counties? And then how does that information get back to the committee? I mean, does that information go back to?
Go ahead.
Last year, when we underwent a conversation to reevaluate the total amount charged to the counties, we had conversations with commission staff and some commissioners with county leadership. And in each county, whether there were multiple commissioners and commission staff, or just a few, or just one, depended on the preference of the county leadership with whom we were speaking. So last year we had an in-person conversation with almost each county and deferred to phone or Teams if that was a preference based on schedules. And following those conversations, brought back at the March commission meeting in 2025, the summary results of the discussions with the counties in the first quarter of 2025 to inform the decision to set the new regional charge for 2026 earlier than the budget cycle, so that we could have a committed number from this body to take into budgeting for the spring for the 2026 budget.
So the report comes back to the full committee or to the executive committee or?
Executive committee.
Well, I tell you, what if somebody says something that they don't, this is all public information, right?
Right.
If somebody says, I didn't like this report, it was terrible or something, but that just comes back to us. I mean, or if they say they love the report, I mean, whatever happens. That's good or bad, it comes back to us. Is that I'm just trying to find out the game plan.
Yes, so this year, we're newly entering into some of those conversations with counties because we are not setting the 2027 regional charge at this meeting, right? So following those conversations, we will have a March executive committee meeting and an April executive committee meeting, at which point we will have the delivery of the substantive information from our conversations with counties to bring back to executive committee, which will then get folded into our budget process for 2027.
So the executive committee is the first. Okay, thank you.
And
Go ahead.
at this point, Stephanie, do you want to have these conversations with the county executives yourself, or is it appropriate for us as commissioners to go back and have the preliminary, so Amy and I go and Bob had an appointment with our county executive, we can take this in and share it with her?
I first asked the county executive or administrator for their preference and have built around that. And if we determine from, let's say, a preference by a county executive or administrator, that we first have a one-on-one exchange, that then we would come back with a larger group to talk about the numbers, then that might be a next step for those county executives and administrators, and I would schedule accordingly.
Go ahead, Commissioner Johnson.
I think just kind of looking at things right now, the price of gas and diesel at the pump, and we're watching our power bills or whatever, there are increases, there are other increases that go on and so forth. I think having a list of things, of efficiencies that we are looking at process wise to offset that is very, very important.
Thank you. And I might add that I, as the new chair, have specified that I want to be present at the discretion of the county executive or county administrator for each of these meetings. And for example, tomorrow we'll be meeting with county executive in Racine County together. And then of course there are others that are scheduled that the preference is a one-on-one. So our executive director will attend that one-on-one and report back to the chair, but then also this information will be shared with the executive committee. So we are being very transparent, very upfront, very communicative, and giving those member counties opportunities to have a say in and be aware of why the charges are where they're at, and if there's an increase. Any further questions?
I'm a governor's appointee, and my two associates from Ozaki know that it came up through the county. And as far as I just be sensitive that I would love to go to meet with the county executive if that works out. But the governor appointees, I don't even know the name of the county executive. So I just mean where it's coming from a different place, so be sensitive and bringing us in. I'd be happy to.
Duly noted. Thank you. Any further comment? Anyone online that has any comments?
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, go ahead, Commissioner Schleif.
I, as most may or may not know, you've already met with our executive. I see we're in the budget for the next couple of years. That may or may not come to pass. We feel very happy with some of the services we've received, and we're unhappy with some of the other services. So at this point, as you know, we're out. And hopefully we can have fruitful discussions going forward. Many people, any kind of service, we're a service organization, and you know, the priorities didn't come out this year that we were feeling some of the services we were getting weren't worth the buck. So just consider that moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Schleif. Any others that would like to speak online? Hearing none, then we will move on. Item 10 is a review and consideration of our treasurer's report. We do have a newly revised treasurer's report that was at your table setting. And I think we had also sent that out, an update this afternoon. So a statement of revenues and disbursements, and our new treasurer, I'd like to turn that over for the report.
Here. This report is for the financial period ending February 8th, 2026. As such, it represents the financial status of the Commission 2026 reporting period number 2. Number 1, based on disbursements through February 8th, 2026, it is projected that the total disbursements of the year will approximate 9.57 million. Revenues are projected to be about 10.51 million, exclusive of interest income and miscellaneous revenues. Number 2, the Commission's reserves policy indicates a minimum reserve amount of $4,985,434, with a maximum reserve amount of $10,870,868. The audited cash and cash reserves equivalents at the end of the year of 2024 are $4,163,621. Number 3, as of February 2026, the Commission had in investments and cash on hand approximately $8.59 million. Just over $7.92 million were invested in the state and Wisconsin local government investment fund. As of February 8th, 2026, that fund was yielding 3.7% interest. Other funds are held in savings, checking, and certificates of deposit amounts at several banks. That concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Holt.
I move that we approve this,
Thank you. A second?
second.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, and questions, go ahead.
No, I was just noticing that one of the items, that 44%, I think it was 3 years. One thing is that, the year, how did we get out of that? What happened is that the surplus? Where did that?
Go ahead, second.
I'd like to start, and then I would turn to Libby for any items to add. So we are not yet through our audit, and therefore we have noted that as of the end of 2025, we had a surplus. I believe that's the point in time to which you're referring, Commissioner Messenger.
I'm just looking at the sheet here for the through February 8th reporting period 2 of the community. Projected surplus $294,000.
And our director.
Yeah, so I can answer that for you. These projected revenues and expenses only go through February 8th. So it's really difficult at this point in time to project what's going to happen towards the end of the year. So a lot of the revenue that is noted in this budget under the second column, projected revenue total, it actually does equal the adopted budget. That revenue could change. So those numbers were prepared a year ago, May. They could go down as staff works on projects that are not associated with that revenue. So for example, they could work on the chloride impact study, or they could work on the management projects, or it could, staff could be working on those projects and we may go over budget. So at this point in time, given the short of amount, 6 weeks of the year, it's really hard to project where we will end up. Just given the years of service, years that I've been doing this on the commission, I would guess that we'll come out with about $100,000 at the year end.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, I misunderstood what I was hearing.
Commissioner Holloway.
This may be the function of the executive committee, but do we need, as part of our approval of this, just make note of the fact that our reserves are less than what the minimum that our policy calls for? Is that something that the executive committee has in its minutes, or does this body need to just acknowledge that?
Go ahead, Seth.
I think this body can acknowledge that.
We can acknowledge it. It was set, is it about 2 years ago, Libby, or 3 years ago, that we created that high-low limit?
Yeah, so it's 2022 is when we worked with the auditors to set that reserve. And there is a formula that is done to look at those numbers. They change after the audit is done. It looks back on the last 3-year audit years of surplus or deficit in the audit, and those numbers are adjusted at that point in time. That is, if we're somewhere in the middle, it's fine. Those are guidelines.
I guess just from a, if somebody looking over the records in the future, wanted us to say, was the commission actually paying attention? I would ask the maker of the approval if they would amend it to include that the commission is noting, just noting the fact that has been expressed or noted.
Very good. Is that a motion with your notes? Commissioner Holloway?
Oh, yes, that'd be fine.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any further discussion or comment? And I appreciate you bringing that comment, that note forward. Hearing and seeing no other comments, all in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Thank you. Unanimously approved. Next up is correspondence and announcements. I'll let staff go first, or I have an announcement.
I have, Ben has, and then we'll turn to you. First, for those not in executive committee meetings this year, I'm passing out, and our executive is eligible to take one as well. Our 2026 calendar, I will pass in this way. If you are interested in taking a 2026 calendar that highlights the work of different divisions at the commission, please do print it in-house for our commission employees as well as for you commissioners. So the second item is you had or should have had in front of you upon being seated here. For those of you online, we'll get them to you next time. Our 2025 annual report, hot off the press. I thank our team for being mindful of the March 4th meeting so that the first delivery of the annual report in person and print could be to you. And it is now available on our website as well. So those are my 2 items to report. Ben?
Thank you. I just wanted to provide really a compliment that we got on the chloride study. The chloride study has come up a few times today, earlier this week or late last week, I don't recall which. We did receive our chief environmental engineer, Laura Herrick, who also came up earlier today. Received a compliment on the study from the DNR Water Quality Bureau, kind of widely, and specifically Kevin Kirsch. He's the Water Resources Engineer, Advanced Supervisor in that bureau. And essentially he stated that SORPAC chloride studies perhaps the most comprehensive analysis of surface and groundwater chloride levels in the nation, setting a benchmark for both its depth and scientific integrity. The individual reports, because as we recall, this overall report is made up of several technical reports and a planning report that will be completed by the end of the year. But that body of reports exhibit a level of scientific rigor on par with academic institutions or the USGS. Yet they remain uniquely focused on practical applications and potential solutions because the study is both robust and defensible. It is well positioned to shape policy and support legislative initiatives across Southeast Wisconsin, as well as the entire state. The timing of this study aligns perfectly with the increased focus on chlorides within both our surface and groundwater systems, and he concludes by stating, "Very well done for the work done so far."
That's great. Thank you, Ben. Okay, question.
No, other than question, I was just, did we acknowledge her or send her our thanks or something? Or what?
Yes.
Something kind
Would
of,
that be nice?
we'll definitely highlight it in a minute and then share that with her.
Thank you. Well, many of you are aware of our Director of Administration, Libby Elizabeth Larson. We've all known for all of our tenure on the commission. And you are aware that Libby announced her retirement after 34 years on the commission, at the commission, and starting out kind of ground level and really built this organization from an administration standpoint. And this is really tough. This is her last full commission meeting for Sewer PAC. And she has been instrumental in preparing documents, reports. The success of this agency lies very heavily on a person that has contributed so much through the years. And you know, she's always been someone that we've enjoyed meeting up with, reading at commission and committee meetings through the years, and all of her planning efforts through the years. But she has also been a steady force and has given much more than a regular work week to this organization. And I have a plaque that I would like to read, present to Libby. Southeastern Wisconsin Regional Planning Commission presents this recognition to Elizabeth Larson in sincere appreciation of 34 years as a Sewer PAC employee from 1992 to 2026. During her tenure with Sewer PAC, Ms. Larson served as a devoted employee, dedicated countless hours and years to the work of the organization until her retirement as Director of Administration. The Commission congratulates Ms. Larson on a full career rooted in selfless service to the public good. Thank you so much for your time that you've committed. Quite a bit of your lifetime, your career, and you've given your heart and soul to this organization. And it means a lot to me. I've known you for 14 years, going up 15 years, and just very proud to work alongside you as a commissioner. And always pleasant to see you at each meeting. We're gonna miss you. Congratulations.
Yeah, I certainly was not planning on retiring at this point in time. But here we are, so it'll be different for sure. We'll see what the future holds. And I wish all of you the best of luck and wish you the best of luck.
And Libby's last day for day of retirement is April 2nd. So just under a month.
Yeah, I just couldn't make it before Fool's Day.
Hey.
Yeah, so yeah, 22 working days. Not that I.
Would anyone of the commissioners like to make any comments regarding her retirement? Note of congratulations.
I would just say that she's really the first person that onboards you, at least when I came on and was very helpful and really helped you step right in, so I appreciated that. So thank you.
Yeah, I would say being a relatively new commissioner, being younger than your service with the commission itself. My first, yeah, not to point that, I just have to say that I felt extraordinarily welcomed and immediately informed about the importance because of your advice, guidance, and the authority that you hold this information with. And so making these important decisions, we know as a body, we're heading in the right direction because you just make the proper recommendation and you're an excellent steward for this region. So thank you.
I have a comment.
Commissioner.
I think, I've been in your position, for a long time with different people. And, first of all, when you are the lead person here, you need help. And Libby provides that. And, I think in many cases, where she can bring you through from the past and as it's evolved forward, I think it's been very positive for doing that. And that's over and above doing all the work. But when people come in, that helps. So thank you very much for that.
I was just gonna say, Libby does a lot for onboarding. He has the pulse of the staff and the commission as a whole. From an onboarding standpoint, if you're not familiar with Dr. Bauer, you may ask the question, well, why do we do this way? Or how about this? Or, well, these processes were set up by Dr. Bauer many years ago when she was established. So that knowledge of the organization is very, very important and will be very much missed.
It is hard to transmit that information to others. Chris, I called him Mr. Bauer. I was having this conversation with someone the other day. He and my dad worked together very closely, which is how I got the job. And it's really but I think Chris had him as a professor at Marquette and knew him as Dr. Bauer. But he was very particular in the way he did things, but I think it's that the structure of his work set the commission up for as we know it today, the organization as we know it today. And some of those, I've tried to pick the best processes and carry them forward. Not all of it isn't necessary any longer. Yellow drafts with a red pen. But yeah, he was certainly a force. Sure. Well, thank you all for the kind words. And again, it's been a pleasure knowing all of you and working with all of you. When I was in college, my undergrad's in public administration, so it's a perfect job for my degree, undergraduate degree. I would have never even guessed this is where I was going to end up. Sometimes it's all about who your family knows. Thank you very much.
We appreciate your service. With that, my only other announcement is that we are here. It's early. You still have an opportunity to hang out for a bit. Commissioner Trotter, thank you for helping secure the location. There are a couple of us, I think, that need to leave by 4:30. I, for one, do need to leave by 4:30. I need to be back in Waukesha by 5:30. So there'll be a short tour and then an opportunity if you want to hang out and have a bite to eat or a beverage. You're welcome to do that. And then, of course, you're always welcome to come back and visit the place and stay overnight in a hotel.
I would expect our manager of M3, her name is Carrie Reed, to be here any moment to give a tour of the Reef Point Marina facility. So if you can all just take a seat a minute and I expect to hear any minute, okay?
Very good. Any more comments from those that are joining online before we adjourn? Okay, well, thank you for joining us. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Mr. Moore, all in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? Meeting adjourned, 3:55. Thank you. So long.